Hey guys, it's Popo Joe Explode. Today I come to you with kind of like an update video, I guess you could say. As you can see, this is my black powder pistol, and I just want to go over the last pretty much 4 years that I've had this gun, and some of the things I've learned, and some of the upgrades I've had to make, and fixes as I've had to make on this Pietta 1851 Navy. This right here is a Cabelas brand holster for black powder pistols, and I've been extremely happy with this model. I don't know if they still sell it, but I do like it. So anyways, here's the pistol. As you can see, it's the steel frame 1851 Navy from Pietta. Got it at Cabelas for somewhere around like 230 bucks. But I mean, it is what it is. I got it scratched up a little bit over the years, a couple of dings, but you know, it's been a long 4 years. And honestly, I was looking back at some of the older videos, and I can't believe it's already been 4 years of me shooting this thing. But so I'll just go over what I've done with it. The thing I did notice about the Piettas is all the little screws. They're actually made of a pretty softer metal, as you can see. I don't know if you might be able to see it or not, but see the screw? See where I've almost kind of stripped it out a little bit. Yeah, that's one thing I have noticed. This one right here, a little bit on this one. Yeah, the screws, not the greatest, but as you can see, I haven't completely stripped one yet. I just gotta be real careful when I'm using a screwdriver. Another thing is, back in the day, before I realized how to, knock this out, I did put a few dents into it. I don't know if you can see the little pop marks I put into it. But that was an early mistake of me trying to knock this out. Honestly, now I can just push it with my finger and it comes on out. So yeah. Another thing I did had to learn early on was the finish on the grips of the wood. Actually, these the finishes really came off when I started using bore solvent, and I saw that you have to clean these things in hot water soap, and I put bore solvent in the soapy water, and it turns out it stripped off a lot of the protectant layer on top of the wood, and so ever since then I haven't redone it. I think that might be a project here in the future, but so far it's just been the oil's off my hands, the oil from the gun that's kind of giving it that protection again. I don't know. I might just hit it with some tung oil and kind of buff it up. Might make it look pretty good, but that's for a future video. But just know that if you get that bore solvent anywhere near the wood, it'll kind of strip it. So yeah, be careful of that. The bronze is definitely gone through the number over the years. I'm sorry, not bronze, brass. The brass has really gotten dull over the years, but at the same time, it hasn't bent on me. It hasn't really chipped. It hasn't really done anything that would inherently, for the integrity of the gun, make it inoperable, or just make it ugly. It actually still looks pretty decent. Yeah, it's a little could use some buffering, but it's not bad, especially after 4 years. I've had to actually make quite a bit of adjustments to this gun. First thing was to do some repairs. One of the repairs was this piece right here. this little loading lever catch right here under the barrel actually fell out one day when I was messing with it, and I had to actually put it back on with actually red Loctite. I was really thinking how to do it. I was like, should I use glue, of some sort? Should I use JB weld? But I think being metal on metal, and I never want this thing to come off again, I went with red Loctite, and it is on there. It ain't coming off. So that had to been fixed. Another thing I had to fix on the Pietta was this little guy, this little nip that actually goes into the these little holes right here to help it stay strong, don't move around with the integrity of shooting. This little guy, when I got it really filthy one day here recently, I popped it out, and I just couldn't get it off. I'd move, and I finally got to this point, and I still had to kind of move it like this to get it off. And I looked in it, and sure enough, this was sticking out of here. So to get it out, I put it in the soapy water. Eventually, whatever crud let itself loose, and it came out. Once again, I had to take red Loctite, put it down the hole, and kind of hammer this back in. Easy fix. Both of them were really easy fixes, but just know that when things start to wear out on these Piettas, that red Loctite is going to be your friend. And I have used all green Loctite and all these screws because I never really want them to come out. I have no need for them to come out unless I really have to get in there with a screwdriver. And I can break them with a screwdriver, but using the green Loctite or blue, depending on what kind you use. So it's not impossible, but for right now, I don't have any structural integrity problems with the internal parts. And I did use Loctite because when I would shoot, this one right here in particular would start coming out, and I noticed all of these were getting really loose after maybe one set of shooting. So I fixed that with some green Loctite. But it's the red Loctite you want on metal when you don't want anything to ever come back off, because you need to heat it up to like 500 degrees. So that was the second thing I fixed. Another thing I fixed was I don't know if you could see it. See that bar that comes up right here? I forget what they call it, the foot or something. Well, that whole piece, there's like a hook, and then there's like this little metal thing that comes out. It's very thin, and when I first got it, I was spinning it a lot, and working the action. And then one day I took it apart, and I was trying to put it back together, and after I got done putting it together, and I didn't do anything really wrong, but I started working it again, and then I noticed it was starting to get really weak, and then the cylinder wouldn't go all the way, and it wouldn't when I would move it, it wouldn't do that. It would actually do something like this every time I move it, and it would spin freely. So I knew that piece had been worn out. So I went to Dixie Gunworks, and I got a replacement piece, and it's held up. It's held up quite strong here recently. At least for 3 years, when originally that piece didn't hold up for 6 weeks. So that little foot, little lever piece right there that actually hooks up right next to the hammer, that was another thing I had replaced. Now from this angle, I'm sure you can see another thing that I fixed was the spacing in the hammer. I actually had to fix this because these guns are extremely known for having caps fall down inside of the action, either getting caught up in this little mouth. It would strip them off the nipples once they fired, and either drop down in here or get cut up here to where the hammer wouldn't go back all the way forward, or it would get a piece down in here and it'd get jammed up. So So I was looking a lot on the internet and to find ways to how to fill that in, and I saw it done with JB Weld, so I decided to go in there and fix it with JB Weld. So I put it in there. I waited 24 hours for it to cure. Took a little file, and I went in there and I filed it down, and it lasted one cylinder, and it fell out. I had made sure to clean it, dry it of any type of oil before I did it. It just didn't last. However, I made a 25-cent fix. Keyword 25 cents, because this space is just about the same width as a quarter. Now, I'm not telling you to destroy money or anything, but if there was something that was the width of a quarter and you took a chunk out and you put it down in there with red Loctite, once again, red Loctite, and then let it cure there for 2 days, and then sit there with a good file and file it off again to where it's nice and flush. I tell you that this has held up for at least 6 or 7 cylinders so far, and doesn't seem to have any want to fall out anytime soon. And I think it's there for good. I mean, it sit there and cured for 2 straight days, and then I filed on it, and yeah, it's still in there as good as the day as I got done filing it down. And yeah, so right there is a decent fix. Another thing was that when I was working on this, I also filed down these sights, because this thing shoots extremely high. So what I did was when I had this, I took a grinder, my Dremel grinder, and then I kind of ground it down a whole lot right down here, because it's actually quite, when you look at the original, they're quite hooked, and very sharp, and they get way out there. I mean, they're at least maybe this much farther out. So what I did is, as I cut it down to here, then I took a sanding stone and I went, very, very evenly went across with the heavy grinding part, and then turned around and used the softer one. So that way I can get a good even face on it. And so that's why it's you can see it's the bare metal up here. It doesn't look anything like this. If it looks like something down here, that's just from the wear and tear of the hammer hitting the primers. But this right here, this was from me sanding down the sights. And now it shoots maybe just a slight bit high at a certain distance, and it can be right on about 15 to 20 paces away. So hitting bullseyes now instead of scalping targets. So that's good. So that was the most recent fix. Once again, red Loctite, and the most recent modification. Now, I had to go and get extra parts for this. Not because the parts that, other than this little foot in here, but I mean like aesthetic pieces. I wanted the cap jam problem to be fixed even better. So I went from using this cylinder right here, which is the original cylinder it came on with the original nipples. I wanted it to, first of all, I wanted multiple one of these, like backups. So I had bought another one, and I was like, okay, good. I got 2 spare reloads like I wanted. But then I was like, well, I gotta get another cylinder, and then I noticed that they made these types of cylinders, these ones with the really nice cuts in it, like modern day revolvers. And I learned something about slick shot. nipples. Slick shot nipples are stainless steel nipples. They also have a let's see if I can't see one real good. I don't know if you can see it or not, but they have little portholes drilled through the sides of them to help alleviate pressure better, so you don't get a whole lot of backblast and blowing caps off and getting them stuck in your the little hammer piece, this piece down in here, and also, of course, being stainless steel, you know, all around the things are better when they're stainless steel and black powder. But it's helped keep the caps on the nipple once they've fired and not get thrown off or to become completely exploded where they fall down into the action, and they don't blow it back into the notch, even though I have filled the notch in. I have actually had no cap jams since I've been using these slick shot nipples, and these ran me about $35. Just Google them and you'll see the shops that sell them. Very, very good investment to get whenever you're looking to upgrade your black powder pistol. Now they do make them specifically for Pietta threading and for Uberti threading. So, and I don't remember what Army San Marcos threads used, but I think one of those will fit those as well. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, do some research, and these are an absolute must. And this is my primary cylinder. This is what I like to go out if I'm not, you know, changing out cylinders or doing a whole lot of shooting. This is the cylinder I keep on the gun itself. These are, of course, the standard Pietta cylinders with the standard Pietta nipples. I'll eventually fix all these with the slick shot nipples, but for right now they're just as is, and they're good. They're good. They work. Using these with these nipples, they don't get caught up here in the spacings, because I do have it filled in. However, being that it is these nipples, they will kind of blow apart and fall down into the action still, using these nipples, only because like I said, these nipples right here alleviate pressure, whereas these do not. So it is what it is. Trying to fight the biggest flaw that these early Colts ever had was with cap jams. And I tell you, once you fill in the hammer and you get slick shot nipples, you're gonna be far and in between whenever you experience them, if you experience them again. So that's those are the things I've done to the gun so far to alleviate that. So learn how to clean it. This and all its pieces get disassembled. All this and this gets taken off and gets thrown in the soapy water. This, I stay out of the soapy water. I actually clean this more like a normal gun. I will take hot water and scrub it with a brush, but I will not soak it in, because I do not want to either rust the internal parts in here or get the finish on the wood to be continually to dissolve. So that's another thing that I've learned about this gun. So just clean this like a normal firearm and use some soap and water on where the powder residue really gets there, and then from there on dry it off and then clean off and oil it like a normal gun, and then pretty much clean this like it's a black powder all the way, and then dry it, and then hit it with oil like a standard firearm piece. So it's gone from me just dumping the entire thing into a bucket to actually doing piece by piece and then protecting the wood integrity. So that's another thing I learned. And then if you want to see the things I learned with ammunition, check out my making paper pistol cartridges videos, and I'll show you that. So anyways, guys, it's been a long but seemingly short 4 years since I've had this gun, and it's still my favorite black powder piece. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to friend, subscribe, like, and I'll have more videos to come. Peace.